Welcome back to Fairing Fucker Fridge Fuckers. Whatever.
So what are we gonna do now?
Anyway, we just found, we just got to the world map, so now it's time to fix the sound mixing because the game couldn't be bothered. Okay, what I recommend.
We're doing the developers. Hey, we're doing a Bethesda. We have to do their work for them.
Basically, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we have. Oh, actually, first time. Yeah, okay. So we have BGM volume, aka background music volume. We have sound effects volume. We have voice volume. We have movie volume, which, considering this game only has like 3 movies, it doesn't really make any sense. But whatever.
It
makes the whole thing seem like a movie.
Aside from, of course, selecting between the Japanese and English voices, and of course, here's the vocal highlight events. As this right there, the higher this is, the lower the BGM volume will become when characters speak. That's right, and keep in mind, this vocal highlight option was not in the original PS3 version. This was their response to the feedback from the PS3 version. Just here,
do it. To fix it themselves?
Nope. that would require work.
Every game has a sound menu, but this is the most in depth I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Since you're so smart, you fix it.
No, that's actually what boggles me, because it would have been...
Hold on, let me just explain something too. I recommend keeping everything by default except for raise the voice volume to 55% and raise the vocal highlight to 68%. It's not
69,
it's not completely perfect. Well, trust me, I experimented a lot, and this is the best combination that I found.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Hold on, cutscene, I guess.
Oh, look at that beautiful Wii JRPG on the PS4.
Wait a minute, hold on, the Soul Planes. When did anyone tell me we were going to the Soul Dimension?
So this is the Soul Planes.
Very good, Eryn. You can read.
Also, does everyone speak in Australian accent here?
No, Theo. We'll get a Canadian thick accent later, but there's no Australian accents.
Because then I can imagine I'm watching Mad Max instead.
Sorry, that's...
There's two...
And now it's time for another Eryn Spencer lecture!
That's like the best thing to come out of us.
Alright, Dwebs, this is kind of
the
important.
game remembers that the number 16
Let me tell you about part destruction. You see, some enemies have different parts that you can destroy. Certain sections of enemies can be weak to specific weapons. If you keep attacking that section with that type of weapon, it will result in a part destruction.
Brilliant.
The small numbers under the normal damage numbers reflect this damage. Keep in mind, this isn't the same thing as the weak attribute you get from hitting a weak point.
AKA, this isn't the same thing as type matchups.
Also, if you launch an enemy and perform an air attack, that will damage the part no matter what weapon you're using. Hey, I'm reading here. You'll receive more EXP and gold for destroying parts, and sometimes you'll even earn an extra item after the battle. Only good things can come from going for part destruction.
Okay, this sounds fairly interesting.
Anyway, that's just the thing. Go ahead, then. I was about to.
My thing I said before, Pedro, is that here's the thing. It would have been so simple to just set the developers to set the audio on a fixed amount that was fine and release it at its own. To give the player the decision of customization actually seemed to be way too fair for their practices.
So you're saying that you would expect them to not just do anything?
No, actually to fix it on a fixed amount and just lazily put it there and say, fine, this is what you wanted, have it as it is and you cannot do anything about it.
Interesting. Anyway, that's just the thing, Teo. The part destruction thing, here's the thing. I never bothered with part destruction, and I was still able to finish this game in hell difficulty. The part destruction thing, for the most part, is useless. All it really serves is to lower the defense of your enemies, but by the time you manage to get that, you already damaged the enemies plenty anyway. Because again, this game isn't really hard at all. So honestly, if you ask me, it's just an unnecessary mechanic just to add more systems upon systems. Honestly, it's not. You can literally go for the entire game and even tackle the harder difficulties without even bothering with the. I never cared or bothered about part destruction, and I was able to get through every single boss, including optional stuff, just peachy. So yeah.
You'd think that they'd make it so that it would make it so that it's obviously the weak point system, but. No, apparently no. Like, wouldn't that make sense for an RPG where actually, not only can a certain element weaken an enemy more so, but you also have to attack a certain body part to get the most damage out of them.
But hey, Teo, look at the bright side. We got a rock solid 60 frames per second. Unlike the incredibly unstable 30 frames per second of the PS3 version.
Well, it's still better than something.
Alright, Shiro, your character is about to be introduced.
That has to be the Furies.
Okay.
Jeez, you're working me to the bone. Let's just hurry up.
And guess what, Teo? It's time for more comedic hijinks.
Just a moment, please.
Oh, great. So we're gonna hear that music Dwaves love so much.
Actually, we're gonna hear another one.
Oh.
Cube from Madoka Magica? What are you doing here?
Actually, she looked. Oh, you mean the pet? Because
Never mind that. What the hell on the left? What's Digimon doing here?
Well, she drinks tea.
There you go. See, that's why I thought of giving her to you.
All wearing this.
Well, I
Also,
guess
is that a cat dog? What is that?
It's a rip-off of Cube from Madoka Magica, Shiro, basically.
Oh, I didn't know you watched Madoka
I haven't.
Magica.
A friend of mine introduced it to me a few years back.
Bots.
Some stranger.
Us, well,
Let me guess, Pedro. It's something you wouldn't.
I love.
want to
Okay,
lose your head for.
how about this? I loved the twist in episode 10. You know the one, the big twist about who the real main character is. But the problem is that up until that point, it was just okay. I guess I don't know. I think people overhyped it a little bit for me.
Again, Pedro. It's something.
Anyway,
you wouldn't
paralytic
want to
T. Turns out that he is paralytic.
Wait, what?
This sounds like something I can attest to a Nyan Nyan cat remix.
So basically, what's going on is she intentionally lured us into a trap, and we fell into it because Fang is stupid, and this was all so that she could get the Fury instead of us.
Matters not.
The game is so bad that they made Reeves drop.
So she's a bad guy or an enemy.
That's just the thing, Joe. But just hold on to that thought for a bit.
Jova, she's an antagonist, but she's not a villain.
Who's
Tiara.
voicing her? Pedro?
Game just because Natalia Hoover, I think, isn't it? Dwebs?
Okay.
Natalie Hoover. Yes.
No,
Sorry,
no.
Discord crashed on me. What was it you were saying about?
No,
it?
Dweebs, that's the game is so bad it made you crush.
That's just downright.
Yeah.
What were we saying about Madoka Magica? You loved what?
I love the big plot twist that reveals who the main character is, but it took I kind of wish the game would have had some more stuff like that throughout the entire thing instead of just at the last couple of episodes. Anyway, the point is, it's okay, Teo, because it's okay, Joa, because turns out she's not all bad because she's gonna give us the antidote before she leaves.
Why am I so not caring about this character?
I thought you were being.
She's probably gonna be a love interest, rival fencer or something.
Trickster.
Ding 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 ding! Very good, Jova.
Here is your face. Your fairy friend has quite a shameful face too.
She also has
what?
a very unconventional gimmick to her.
Huh.
character.
Yeah. Actually, we're about to see it exactly now.
Oh,
Tell me about it. She's got a really foul mouth too.
Oh, it's not yet. Okay.
My, it seems we're getting along rather swimmingly.
Actually, no. What?
But they agree apparently.
I think it's now. I think it's now actually that. Oh, never mind.
Now's not the time for you two to get along.
I agree.
Actually,
Here you go. It's now.
Right. Hey, you stuck-up bitch.
Ooh, he said the B word.
Better watch it from now on.
And here we go.
How can you say something so dreadful?
So yeah, Tiara likes.
Even the director or the screenplayer decided to show his fetishes.
Yeah, the Tiara loves being verbally abused. She's the masochist.
this
So
makes
was-
me feel very uncomfortable.
So,
Yeah.
Was the director a man or woman? I mean, okay.
A man, Ken Ito. It's a man. I'm still convinced to this day that the guys who made this game are sociopaths.
Wow. I mean, wow. I mean, even Neptunia at its lowest doesn't do that, and that's one that had a joke about pedophilia.
Oh, don't worry, Jova. The pedophilia joke of this game will come.
See, here's how it went in Neptunia. Yes, there was a pedophile guy, but the game recognized that pedophilia is still icky. As much as they joked about it, they still remember that it's icky.
Oh my god, I got some models, Dibs! I got some models!
What? Don't spend your budget too big.
Oh, I love this guy's dialogue.
A pirate?
I love listen.
The generic bandit.
There you go, Theo, he agrees with you.
A guy who can only move his arm.
Get it? Fourth wall breaking.
I have nothing to give to
No,
someone
shouldn't that mean that she'll steamroll over him?
You see, Theo, it's clever because the game flat out is telling you that this guy is nothing but a boring and generic mook. You see, it's clever. It's satire.
I hope the fourth wall falls on them.
It's that's not a joke. That's just you pointing out that the character is boring.
Well, it worked in it worked at the beginning of Crash to Insanity, so why shouldn't it work here?
I haven't played that game, so I'm not in the Jova, you do this for me. Sorry.
I'll just say this too. The reason it doesn't work here is the fact that they're way too lazy about it. Crash to Insanity actually put effort into it. I mean, heck, that joke was earned. That skunk had literally been doing the same thing for those 10 years.
Wasn't Twin Sanity wrote by a couple of Ren and Stimpy alumni?
That probably also helped too. The problem here is like, well, the guy might as well just be saying, "I'm taking."
Right joke! Yay!
Yeah.
This Partisan Rogue is attempting to force himself upon me.
Oh, alright, let me be candid for a second. Where's your rape wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, guys, you know what my parents got me today?
Do we have to start a topic? Could you please?
Is it on topic, dudes?
Well, it's for a commentary thing. I'll say it in text.
Okay.
So you're also a fencer, huh? Good timing. Hand over your fury too.
And bend your ass.
But I want to hold on to my Fury Road copy. Get your own.
But we do have a furry on our team now.
And now they said the crap word. Get it? We're mature and for adult audiences. Okay.
I love also how the Mook changed completely voice actor.
I was about to say, was that?
Because in gameplay, that's totally Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, they literally did just change his voice there.
Well, the thing.
Also,
it's
supposed to be a generic Mook. Why we're treating it like a boss?
I don't know, too. Well, the thing. Well.
He actually got bored and left.
Probably. A lame and generic character like him. Anyway.
You are quite strong.
So yeah, we saved Tiara, even though we have no reason to.
No.
Doesn't that Fury have a name or something?
Yeah, get used to this. As Shira can vouch for what I'm about to say, this is pretty much how it's gonna be from this point on. All the characters that do is whine and complain and argue against each other for the most minuscule of reasons.
So, question, but aren't these Furies actually living beings? Like,
well, they're weapons that have fairies in them. Yeah, so technically, I guess you can. The fairies themselves are living beings. The weapons themselves are not.
Wait, hold on. But I thought that the fairies become the weapons, so...
No. What? Okay, here's how this works. Each Fury has a fairy in it, and the fairy can leave the weapon so they can, be here like Eryn is doing. However, when it's time for battle, then the fairy goes back into the weapon so that the fairy can power the weapon.
Shoot,
so
I thought
it's a little bit like it's a little bit like the those things from Ladybug.
Sure, let's go with that.
Huh, I thought this was like well, it is like...
But it still is kind of like Valkyrie Drive.
To give this a bit of credit over Ladybug, it doesn't wait till like episode 20 to establish that.
Having more people in your party during combat.
That said, Miraculous Ladybug is still better than this!
I agree.
And I still don't care about this Tiara character, Joy.
Don't worry, Taya, the game will do everything in its power to make you care.
So might as well question, do all your party members, including your protagonist, are like Shoto clones, or instead each one has like some specialization, like one is the white mage, or one is a...
Oh, no, there are no such thing as jobs or classes in this game, too.
No, I don't mean this, but in a sense that each character learns different skills from one another.
Well, yeah, okay, how about this? For example, Fang here has fire element, so he has fire skills and fire magic. Tiara is water element, so she has water magic and water attacks, and so on and so forth. Each character has his own element.
Element affinity, okay.
Anyway,
So, let me guess about Tiara. She's a girl who comes from a rough or poor upbringing, and it turns out that in the end, we're gonna have to save her because we've grown to like her or something. Because I don't know, some evil ritual.
Jova, that would be incredibly cliche and stupid, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. Anyway,
Like seriously, I've seen this sort of character trope so much back. I've seen this done with DC Comics.
Yeah, Tiara joined the party.
Anyway, allow me to say something, by the way, that we missed. Basically, while that was going on, Fang is... basically, Tiara suggested that we join her and become her slaves, so it would be much easier to get the Furies if they work all together. And Fang was, of course, hesitant. Eryn, of course, is not having any of that. However, Fang was convinced. Why? Because if he goes with her, Tiara will feed him 5-star restaurant food. So, of course. Because
We're here to milk that food joke.
oh, don't worry, Teo. They will milk those titties to the point where they'll be so fucking dry and rotten.
I swear, if the game literally ends with one of these, I'm gonna burst so high.
So, Pedro, okay, Pedro. How many endings involve food?
A few.
Let's discover that.
Well,
Jesus.
since we're gonna see all of them eventually anyway.
Well, okay. Well, if I spoil everything right now, it will ruin the fun.
No. It's okay. I'm just taking a wild guess, though, that there's definitely gonna be.
All right. In a moment, both me. In a few
my
moments, both me, Dwebs, and Shira will have some voicing to do. So.
Oh my God! The fairy who was in the Fury that we got is named Syl.
All right. Let me explain this. Basically, what.
Wind elemental affinity.
Yeah, basically, we're gonna explain this. Every time we get a Fury, and this fairy that we just got, Sylph, is the fairy that comes from that Fury that Tiara got before us. Every time we get one of the 40 Furies that we can get throughout the game, we get a fairy, and the fairy we got is Sylph. What do you... Fairies basically work as like an extra equipment thing, where you can equip fairies and use the fairy resonance thing to cause various effects. For example, Sylph... Imagine a fairy that gives you HP plus 10 and defense plus 10, or whatever plus 10. Basically, think of it as an extra equipment piece. That's basically what they are.
Kinda like the elves in the Mega Man Zero games, I suppose.
Yeah, basically.
So conveniently, we never find another Fury that's another freaking weapon, like something like a ranged weapon, a bow, an arrow, or something. Something to use for a job system.
All right. Sorry, no, the Jova. Anyway, weapon boost. Basically. Teo, you don't actually raise your stats. Instead, you raise the stats of your Fury, aka your weapon. Every time you finish a battle, aside from experience, you also gain weapon points. What do weapon points do? You can use it to do various things, which is raise your parameters of your weapon, unlock any new skills, unlock any new magic spells, unlock any new abilities, and so on and so forth. So basically, get as much WP...
Yeah, it's kind of like an updated version of the Swordian system from Tales of Destiny.
Basically, basically, once in a while, check your WP and unlock shit.
Honestly, yeah. Disregard the gameplay seems actually interesting, but again, everything else just don't compensate for it.
Yeah, the customization, the character development and battle system are fun. It's just that they're two good elements that belong in a much better game.
It's one of those cases where having good gameplay, and even still, that's really just mainly the battle. Just having good gameplay is not enough to make whole
that have a bad story, but can still be salvaged by the gameplay. This one,
No, because there's nothing here that we can get from Neptunia or other compile hard games.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing I was leading up to. So, question, do we ever get to, do world building, like, interacting with these Furies? Something like the Pokemon enemy.
No, Jova. Sorry.
Huh.
Also,
fucking music.
Teo, this is the composer's favorite, so appreciate it, goddammit. Actually, Jova, Nobuo Uematsu didn't compose this one.
Again, the more time it passes, the more I'm fucking siding with Weaves on this one.
Meanwhile, alright, now we're gonna get introduced to Jova, one of Jova's characters. And don't worry,
Molly Coyote?
don't worry, Jova. Actually, this is voiced. This is voiced.
And he's talking anyway. Oh no!
If you keep blabbing, I'll kill you with one.
Bandit A.
Bandit.
No, you
I'm Bandit A.
Oh.
I'm Bandit B. I'm Bandit C. And I'm Michael.
Oh my god, the bandits actually have different designs, and here I thought they were just gonna be copies of it.
Very
Yeah,
palette swaps.
the palette swaps have the same sprite, so I'm not exactly gonna be all whoa impressed by this amazing display of technology.
I know, but I was honestly thinking that they were all just gonna be blatant copies.
You see, Shiroi, this bandit is yellow, and this bandit is green. You see,
about giving
totally
us
different
bandits?
characters.
Oh,
How about
random
giving
sandstorm.
How about giving us a bandit that's a girl?
You still there, Shiroi, by the way?
You seem to be
Yes.
Okay. Alright, and here's Jova's character.
Is she that girl off Fate Stay Night?
No, that's actually a guy, Dwibs. That's a guy.
Yeah, it's actually reminds me instead of Key from Guilty Gear.
Are you sure this isn't a bad guy? He's giving me some serious gin from Blast Blue.
Oh, Jova. Again, I hate that character, and I'm going to explain why when it becomes relevant.
Even has a similar playstyle, at least for this cutscene.
Anyway, yeah, he killed all the bandits and saved the old man and his granddaughter. Sherman shall answer. Sherman shall answer? What kind of name is that?
What
And
the
he has a
heck?
Gundam, of course.
That's his fairy.
That's a very...
Well, remember, Dwiz, we established in the previous part that fairies can be anything. It's not just a stereotypical
So
fairy.
they could even be like a couple. or something.
Tio,
Yeah.
I'm getting crazy diamond flashbacks now.
So, if I beat you, but when I heal you, would it be fair?
And yes, that's all Ryushin says. Ryushin, his fairy, is of course a robot, so all of his entire dialogue is nothing but robotic. Probability of this is 100%. Probability of this
But
is...
then again, Pedro, level 5 showed he can still be funny with Robonyan.
Yeah, but that's just the thing, too. The writers of Yokai Watch actually know how to write. The writers of this game don't. That's the big difference right there.
Seriously, this guy is like Virgil.
Not to mention, Teo,
all put together in a room.
Not to mention, Teo, level 5 had Robonyan get raped in the ass. There will be no ass raping on Ryushin, so...
Alright. Let me listen to this guy's voice.
I am Jesus! I am Jesus!
I bid you safe travels. Have
Wait,
a
he's
wonderful
Canadian?
So he's basically a superhero. Do not fear, ladies and gentlemen, I will be going now! Dun, 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 dun.
So, what about him is blatantly Canadian?
It's literally like that meme scene they show from Sailor Moon with, forgot, the guy with the top hat and the cape is like, my job here is done, but you did nothing! And whoosh!
There are actually, if you go on Tumblr, there are so many Persona 5 edits of that particular meme.
Not just Persona 5, I mean, like,
Alright, Shiro, you're up.
almost every show you'll find a parody. of it.
BRB.
Here we are, the sunflower, and yeah, I think the character you're thinking of is Tuxedo Mask.
Alright, if I remember correctly, this cutscene right now is not voiced. Let me just... Yeah, it is. First, we should try the 5-star food. Next, we'll eat some 5-star food. Then, we'll eat even more 5-star food. If I repeat the same joke over and over, that makes it funny, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
But Fang, what about level 5 of food?
And finally, we'll wrap up the day by eating the rest of the 5-star food. There you go, a 4th time. We literally just said the exact same joke 4 times. So where is all this 5-star 5 times? Where is all this 5-star food anyway?
Like I said,
Welcome. I've been expecting you.
Oh, goody.
I'll tell you, you just came back. Basically, while you were gone, we literally just did the joke of first I had the 5-star food, then I had the 5-star food, then I had the... They literally have Fang say, I want the 5-star food literally 5 times in a row. I'm not even kidding.
Can one of the endings being him died of hypercholesterolemia?
No, sorry, Teo. Anyway, go ahead, Shuri.
This is the manager of the inn and my relative. She will be cooking for us.
Oh boy! That means I can get to eat 5-star food? This old lady's the 5-star chef?
5 stars, we get it.
She doesn't look the part.
What?
Well, you're
That's
rude.
well, you're judgmental.
Yeah, also speak for yourself, but that she actually looks kind of like your stereotypical tavern owner, just in a female version.
Do not worry, her skill in the kitchen is on par with any 5-star chef.
Seriously, what makes you think she's not worthy of cooking good food just from taking one look at her? That's like looking at Pedro and thinking he can never be a restaurant runner.
Well, actually, I'm not a runner yet. I'm only a waiter, but I can eventually take over the business, sure. But yeah, but the point is, her cousin's... Sorry, that's you, Shuri.
The cousin's wife eldest brother's friend is a 5-star chef,
Oh!
which means by...
My uncle works at Nintendo as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You
I know
what?
this
take it
guy, I
back.
know this
You're
I know
even
this guy who
worse.
knows this guy who knows this guy who knows
I
this
take it
girl.
back, you're even... God freaking
You knew this guy's
damn it.
cousin.
What does it have to do? So yeah, Fang is now pissed off because Tiara misled him. Hey kid, you really don't believe that 5-star chef? Oh, okay. Well, my last name happens to be 5-star for some reason. That means I really am a 5-star chef.
Yeah!
Why is
Please
this?
stop.
Why is the writing so stupid?
I think Jova's gone mental.
What kind of stupid joke is that? Game, just because you point out that your jokes are stupid, that doesn't mean they're not stupid. Okay?
Also, Fang, you're the one who started it.
I
Yes.
think I found a new name for
You see, guys, this is the game's strategy. Make a
Fairy
stupid...
Fencer F.
This is the game's strategy, basically. Make a stupid joke and point out that the joke is stupid. There you go. That's
I'm more baffled about the fact that the entire 13 trilogy didn't break Joba, and only part 3 is already of this game is already giving signs.
Anyway, go ahead, Shuri.
I'm not gonna give in that easily.
It doesn't matter so long as the food tastes good, right? If you nitpick the details, you will end up with severe athletes.
Wait, what?
What has nothing to do with suggesting something.
Tail, how the hell is eating connected to athlete's food? I don't... Well, yeah, what kind of logic is that? There we go, even he said it.
Wait,
Hold on, I have to check
Wait.
something. But
That's
I understood the
gross, Fang.
moral.
You better not walk around this place in your bare feet.
But this is Japan. In Japan, they usually take off their shoes.
Yeah,
That is
they put slippers on.
That
They
is
don't walk around
absolutely
barefoot.
positively not true. My feet are 100% fungus free. Is this conversation important, by the way? Stop your complaining and let us hurry along to the room.
Tiara.
Yeah, another one. Stop your complaining and let us hurry. Yeah, I kind of wish the game would take its own advice. I'll give you some medicine that'll clear up your athlete's foot in no time. Hope that cheers you up. I can't believe we're doing an entire comedic routine about foot fungus. Like I said, I don't friggin' have athlete's foot. Also, the music.
Wow.
So yeah, in the end, we actually get to talk to our party members. So yay.
So we're the ones who're supposed to have issues with going off topic.
I'm glad we found a place to stay, but I'm still pretty mad at Tiara.
Me too. She totally lied about this place having a 5-star chef.
Get over it.
Shut
Still
up!
going on about that?
Yeah.
Because it's funny that you know. Alright, Shiroi, get ready. It's time for you to basically dump a lot of exposition on us.
Okay. Can you close your eyes for a minute?
Considering it's this game, no.
No, I don't want to.
Sure, I guess, but seriously, what's going on? I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know what time it is.
She's going to tie you down. She's going to rob you.
You will know soon enough, but for now, please close your eyes.
The last time a girl said that to me, I had to have counseling for an hour.
I don't really get it, but I guess I'll play along because I'm stupid.
You would make
Eryn, you too.
You would make
What?
every criminal very happy with how going.
And then she hangs them both. And
I know.
What she knows.
Why are you complaining? I thought you hated her.
Time for backstory.
actually, it's not that. Whoa! It feels like my body is floating.
What?
Not yet. Do not open your eyes.
Why? What's going on?
Don't worry, Joe. Explanations will come. This entire part is basically nothing but exposition. Anyway.
That sound effect.
Okay, you can open them now.
To vast empty whiteness.
What the hell?
Is it like in Boss Baby in order to reach that place
No.
to suck up a pacifier?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, a cutscene with models.
Huh.
Here's
We're
the
in the
problem. These
twilight.
cutscenes
And check
are
this out.
so
She
bad.
just teleported us to the place where both the goddess and the vile god are sleeping.
More like impaled.
Actually, they're gonna explain that to you, so hold on.
Well, we knew about in the beginning and what Eryn told us.
What the? Where are we?
Dot. What's a giant woman doing here? Oh wait, that's a statue.
All I want to do is see it turn into a giant one.
Cheery?
As you notice, as expected of a fairy. Well, what passes as a fairy, that is.
That was rude.
Teo, which character am I supposed to relate to again?
I'm not going to
the
define
vile god.
a response. Why is this place? I
That's a
don't
good.
really
Oh, sorry.
See, yeah,
That's
I'm
a good representation. The Vile God is a good representation of this game. You're considering the enemy, you're getting stoned, and you're getting impaled, but feeling incredibly stronger pain.
Go ahead, Cheery.
So, is the vile
This is a
god?
dimension that exists between the boundaries of reality.
Yeah, whatever.
This is my Sui's
Kui.
Cooey.
Kui special power.
Professor
Kui?
Kukui?
It's the name of that thing.
I see. That's an amazing ability.
Sorry, Carbuncle is still more cute.
So, we're not in reality right now. Gotcha. That's pretty mysterious.
So does Kiwi grant wishes in the
At
monkey?
least he hasn't made a food.
I love how both Fang and Eryn just accept this like they just found an extra penny in their pocket.
Like, you know...
Go ahead, Sheila, go ahead, backstory.
Long ago, the goddess was sealed in this space, and over there you can see.
Like, seriously, we have
Nation
this...
attacked.
Oh, God.
The vile god?
Dun
Right
dun
next,
dun.
right next, you can see the two other gods, Bionis and Mechonis.
That's
I
right,
know.
the vile god, a malevolent entity that attempted to destroy the world long ago.
Because reason.
Because he's evil.
What if there's a plot twist that turns out he's the good guy but was wrongfully named, and the goddess is the bad guy?
As you can see, he is currently sealed by the sword stabbed into his body.
You're right. I can detect a faint flicker of magical energy. He's not dead then.
No one ever
He's only
thinks to
mostly
just,
dead.
No one ever thinks to just calmly seal them behind a giant rock these days.
The same goes for the goddess, too.
Very good, Eryn.
This is the law of equivalent exchange.
Now that I'm seeing this up close, what are those sword things supposed to be? Alright, Teo, let's get your answer.
Let me guess. Fairies that sacrifice themselves to...
They are fairies.
Furies.
The power of the fury, but the power residing in them has diminished over time.
Why not just call the weapons fairies and have them be the weapons? Why do you need to name the weapons Furies in and of themselves when they still need the fairies to power them?
Oh,
Unless
you're
there's
right.
a plot
Those
point
are
where a fairy
fairies.
actually doesn't make it into a weapon, I really don't see a point for them to be separate. Just make it Valkyrie Drive already! I can't believe I'm asking for you to copy an obvious hentai.
Not every fairy hit their mark, though. The
Ew.
ones that missed eventually make their way to the human world.
And there you go.
And
That's
now we have DeviantArt.
Actually, Pedro, now I get it. So there are 40s on the human world and 60 actually impaled in these
So
two
those
gods.
Furies and their fairies ended up like me.
I don't get it. What's up with this place anyway? Well, Teo,
obviously
ask me.
a question.
Well, Teo, answer me a question then. Then why did Eryn tell us that we were supposed to pick up 100 Furies?
Because she still didn't remember about this thing.
Actually, yeah, that's a weird thing. You'd think Eryn would know about this already.
Are you saying you're going to remove
Well, remember,
the goddess?
Jova, she has
She's
amnesia.
suffers of amnesia, so maybe she's just remembering bits and pieces here and there.
Oh, I thought she was lying about that.
No, she's not
Well, we
lying.
don't know.
She's not lying about that, no.
Okay, then.
Precisely.
So yeah, basically, like Teo said, the other 60 are in here. Alright, we're about to wrap things up. I'm gonna wish for all the tasty food I can
It's not. Let me guess. By the time that it comes to actually make a wish, he'll have become more serious, and then we'll make the proper wish.
Of course.
I wish.
She's not going to revive just by removing one or two swords, you idiot.
Sure.
We must transfer the fairy residing in this fury to one of the dormant fairies, activate it, and then put it out.
Yes, the true enemies are the furries.
Okay, for the sake of easiness, let's just call them furries from now on, just to make it easier.
Well, I actually did say Furies, but sure.
No, you said Fury the first time, but then you said furry the second time, so...
No, there is something else we need to do, in addition to that, but...
And what is it?
How do you not know the most important part? And how do you know about all this anyway? Even I didn't know about this place.
Well, you're terrible at your job.
Yeah, actually, Tiara's about to say that.
The Fencer must educate themselves about the goddesses and the vile god. It is far stronger than you two.
Stranger.
Nah.
So there you go. Even she's saying it.
Well, Fang just started, but yeah, I guess Eryn's excuse is that she has amnesia.
Besides, the only reason we are able to visit this place is because of Kui.
Kui!
Yeah, dwarves can be Kui, because that voice is very similar to the actual voice, sure. Anyway.
Of course. If you were missing your memories, you would already know all of this, right? This must be embarrassing.
You must be so embarrassed!
To be fair, Bo, I kinda like this track.
So wait.
That's fine, I guess.
I can't think of a response. Hey, Fang, don't just stand there. Say something.
My question
So basically, we gotta collect furries so that we can use the fairies inside of them to release the seal, right? So if our original goal hasn't changed, then who cares, right?
Yes. Also, if you attempt to remove a sword, something will attack you, so please be careful.
So yeah, basically we have. If we manage to take all the swords from the goddess, maybe the goddess will awaken.
It's probably some kind of defense mechanism that protects the seal.
Of course.
Calling it right now, it turns out that the goddess is evil and the vile god is actually the good guy, and the prophecy just got screwed up because.
Here's the thing, Jova. You're onto something, but it's not that. But it's not as you're saying.
I swear, if they instead rip off Grandia 2 once again.
Anyway. Go ahead,
You
Tiara.
already tried that?
Well, it seems furries that have bonded to a fencer can't be used.
Oh
Perhaps that's
my.
because the pact they formed is still in effect.
Oh my!
Are we talking about Pokemon right now?
Basically, once a Fury has made a pact with a fencer, unless the fencer, well, actually, not even that, because if the fencer dies, the fairy dies as well. So basically, once a Fury and a fencer make a pact,
Yeah,
it's
they
for
form a symbiotic relationship. I get it.
yeah.
So does that mean that if the Fury dies, the Fencer also dies, or is it?
No. If the fairy dies, it just dies. But if the fencer dies, then the fairy connected to that fencer will die as well. Anyway.
Huh.
Such details are irrelevant. The three of us are all trying to revive the goddess, correct?
Basically, they're asking her, how do you know all this? And she's like, that's irrelevant.
Details.
Yeah.
Then it's settled. We will collect the Furies and break the goddess seal. Understood?
They're not like pulling a Final Fantasy VII.
Without breaking the seal, I'm invincible. A seal.
I wish we knew some other way to do this.
It's okay. All we have to do is go into a dungeon, find this phallic imagery monument, and that somehow breaks the seal, because...
Are you sure you weren't talking about Gods of Egypt?
No, I'm talking about last battle.
Chewie!
But that game was actually... that's the sad part, I still find the writing in that game more intelligent than this. Anyway, for as stupid as it was.
First they would choose the goddess or the vile god. Of course, no same person would ever choose the vile god.
Wink, wink.
There's a twist incoming.
Yeah, basically, this is where the free storylines of the PS4 enhanced version comes in. In the original PS3 version, removing the swords from these two statues does nothing aside from giving you extra battles and getting trophies. Story-wise and in terms of changing the game's content, it does nothing at all. However, that changed in this PS4 enhanced version that we're playing. Basically, when you get to the middle part of the game, that's where the story will take up 3 possible routes depending on how many swords you remove from which specific statues. And here's how it basically works. There's the goddess route. As long as you don't remove 7 or more swords from the Vile God, you will go to the Goddess route, which is the only storyline that was in the original PS3 version. However, if you remove more than 7 or more swords from the Vile God, you'll go to the Vile God route, which is, again, a different storyline specifically for this version. And if you remove 16 or more swords from the Vile God, you'll unlock the Evil Goddess route. Very good, Jova.
So the goddess is truly evil, or is she
No.
vile
Well,
corruption or something?
there is, well, again, Jova, I'm not saying anything, but let's just say, even though you're onto something, it's not as you think. I'll just say that. Anyway, the point is, yeah. And you're probably wondering, too, so what if I remove all the swords from the goddess then?
Yeah.
It does nothing. The goddess's sword... So that's an interesting thing, though. The only way you can actually, get to 2/3 of this game's content is by doing exactly the opposite of what the game is telling you to do.
You think that there would be 5 routes, 2 for affecting with the goddess's sword.
But no, the only way to unlock the alternate routes is by doing the thing that the game flat out tells us. Don't do it because if you might wake up the Vile God. So imagine if you're playing this without a guide. I get it. Nowadays guides are incredibly easy to get because internet, but still. I mean, it's so counterintuitive to have the 2 extra storylines be hidden past something that you would only do if you were morbidly curious.
So, let me guess. The 3 alternate routes are different enough to
Actually, it's 2 alternate routes.
Well, you know what I mean, Uncle. The 3 different routes altogether are different enough to warrant a...
Yes, they are. Oh, no, yeah. The story will go in vastly different directions depending on which route you go to. The Goddess... But, here's how the playthrough is going to be structured. First, we're going to do the Goddess route, aka the original PS3 campaign. And after that, we'll do the Vile God campaign. And after that, we'll do the Evil Goddess campaign. And there you go, Teo. That's why this playthrough is 64 parts long. Because... Go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
So, you mentioned that there are all these different romantic endings, each of which I picked for the main 3 that will be showing up before we show off all the others in an extras part. So, my question is this. Are the romantic endings ever affected by what route you're on, or will they...
Yes, they are. The Goddess route only has 3 actually. The Goddess route only has 3 possible endings. The Vile God route has, I think it's 4, if I remember correctly, the exact number. And the Evil Goddess route is the one that has the most endings.
So, does the Evil Goddess route, does it recycle endings from the other
No,
routes?
all the endings are different.
Ah, neat. So, extras part.
I had to pick differently for each route, basically.
Yeah,
Jiggle music, yay.
Yay.
It's not too intrusive, like in Project Cross Zone.
Basically, there are a lot of female.
It's not just that, Jova. Basically,
all of them per single route. There were specific ones mapped to specific routes.
Basically, Jova, the way I structured the playthrough is in part 29, where we finish the Goddess route, we're going to see the ending that Shiroi picked. After that, we're going to see the alternate endings, and after that, we'll move on to the Vile God route, which will be structured the same way and do rinse repeat.
I see. So basically, you'll have the alternate endings, like in the part right after.
Yeah.
Ending.
Just so we can still have our memories fresh when it comes to endings.
So, do the endings actually get good, per se?
I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Man,
No,
that thing can run at me.
suck.
Well, not like I couldn't handle it. Oh yeah,
So, another question instead. The game probably has explained, but how every much in a while are you allowed to pull out a sword?
You're allowed to pull out swords at any point and how many often you want.
Oh, okay.
So...
It's just a matter. It's the fact that the battles get tougher and tougher the more swords you pull. I get it.
That's just the thing, Tail. You can only pull out a sword.
I'll be honest with you.
That's another thing, Tail. You can only pull out a sword if you have a Fury. Like, so for example, right now the only Fury we have is Sylph, so we only could pull 1 sword from one of the 2.
Well, it's only for the tutorial. You have all those that
yeah.
Go for the DLC.
See, the main reason why I refuse to acknowledge the whole 100 Furies thing is because, again, in order to take all the 40 swords that are in here, you have to get the 40 Furies that are in the actual game.
So, question. There are like 40 in both the Vile God and the Goddess.
Okay. Basically, it works like this, Joventeo. There's 40 Furies for us to collect over the course of the game. Most of them are obligatory, but well, okay, let's point out too. Half of them are optional, half of them are obligatory. Okay. We need, in order to pull out a sword from one of those statues, we need to have a Fury that we got in the actual campaign, which means that
I get it.
which means that we need to cut all 40 Furies if we want to take out all the swords from both. And yes, there is a trophy for taking out all the swords from both statues. Which I did get, actually. I have 91% of the trophies of this game. Anyway, the point is, yeah, and that's why I refuse to acknowledge the 100 Furies tale, because even though they say that all those things over there are Furies, the truth is that we still need Furies to take them out, so how does that work exactly? When you get right down to it, there's only 40 Furies in this game.
Even by doubling, that makes 80, so still 20 less.
It's just, the whole 100 thing is just, I mean, I don't know, it's just...
Unless the other 20 is the DLC ones.
Well, the DLC fairs are only like 7 too, so... Anyway, who cares? Let's go home, I'm hungry. Because,
yeah,
you know...
I guess the protagonist summed it up.
Go ahead, Shiri.
Good idea. Let's go back and have ourselves a 5-star meal.
Alright, everybody, I know...
Well, to be fair to that moment there, she was only quoting him. She wasn't making the joke herself.
But that's the problem.
Hold on, Shiri. Hold on, it's important, Shiri.
I'm sorry. I can't reveal the truth.
Of course you can't.
Anyway, yeah, alright guys, I know,
question.
Dwibs, let me just say something to Dwibs first, too.
Sure.
I know that this part has been really boring exposition to us, but don't worry, the next part we're back to shitty comedy. Anyway, go ahead, Teo.
I've seen that in the statues that are all with the sword, there are like two, for each one there's a giant one stuck in their chest. So in order to extract that, you need to pull out all the smaller ones first? Or
no, nothing like that. Okay, well, here's, well, I've already explained the resonance effect,
it's
so...
to the story. Okay, I get it.
No, it's not tied to the story, actually. Let me just... Don't worry, I can send this... I already explained the resonance effect, so I can say now. Basically, Teo, each specific sword in those two statues has a rank. That goes from C to S. And in order to pull out, let's say, an S rank sword, which is those two swords that are in the chest of each of the two swords, those two swords that are in the chest of each statue are S rank swords. And there are 2 S rank Furies in the game, which are the hardest ones to get, obviously. So you'll need to have a corresponding rank Fury. So basically, you're probably wondering, so how do I get all 40 Furies? You have to do all the side quests of Lola, because Lola gives you all the information on side quests to get extra Furies. They're probably wondering, what kind of side quests are it? It's literally just exploring the exact same dungeons that we explore in the main story again, and fighting and just completing the dungeon again will grant you an extra Fury. It just goes back to this game just rehashing content to save its life. Anyway, that was the exposition part. Go ahead, Shiri. And now it's us again. Anything you need.
Please let me know if there's anything you need at the inn. I will have it provided to you, no matter what it is.
Food! I want food!
Wait, hold on. I thought we were supposed to be
out of the game.
More sex jokes. Thank you so much, game.
We need a real 5-star chef.
Except that.
You're not helping.
It's funny, Teo. Laugh.
No,
No.
okay, look.
There's a reason if Dante put the gluttonous under the last pool in the Inferno.
I know, right? I mean, look, seriously, girl, look, we get it, okay? He was the one who first brought up the 5-star thing, but you're not helping by reminding us that you technically tricked him with it. Just saying. You could have let the joke die, but you brought it back.
Anyway, everybody, now that we've gotten all the exposition out of the way, we can actually properly start the game.
Right.
Now we're just now starting it, are we?
Basically, yeah.
Hey.
Well, it does. Think of it. It is. Sorry, it does. Think of it like this: 3 parts done, only 61 to go.
Hey, look at it. Hey, look at it also like this, though. At least it didn't take us 10 hours to do the tutorial, Pedro.
I guess,
All right,
yeah.
See you in the next part.
See you, everybody.